The knives are out for President Biden. The Democrats, the media, the establishment, they're all coming for him. Now, there was a lot of copium flowing after the debate. There were people that said Biden had a cold. He was tired, even though he just took the week off. This is my favorite conspiracy theory, though, which is they believe that Russia came up with, so we've heard of the CIA's heart attack gun, right? They have a gun, they point it at you, and it shoots an invisible ray, supposedly, that gives you a heart attack. Well, they believe that Russian intelligence, came up with a direct energy beam that when you hit somebody with it, they can't see it, but it makes them confused and discombobulated. So it's not the CIA heart attack gun. It's the Russian retard beam is what we're going to call it on this show. So that's the that's how the Democrats,
I'm kind of retarded.
That's how the Democrats are coping, some of the Democrats, with Biden's poor debate performance, is that Russian spies hit him with a invisible laser gun that made him act like an idiot. I'm not kidding. That is truly what some of them believe. And they got a point, though. Biden is clearly losing it. We cover it on this show in a segment every single week. And it's not a stutter. Because, yeah, he's always had a stutter, but he hasn't always talked like a crazy old man with dementia. Look at this clip from Biden 30-some years ago. He's a way different person. Maybe there's a little bit of a stutter, but he talks smooth. He's polished. Check this out. Listen to what he says and how he says it.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shot.
I probably could have picked a different clip. I just wanted to remind everyone.
My nigga.
One more time what Joe Biden said. Go ahead. Just remind me.
We already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shot.
It's crazy how the alleged recording of Trump from The Apprentice saying the N-word went away. It's crazy how just went away. It's almost like it didn't exist. On the other hand, Biden, we do have video of him saying the N-word on multiple occasions. Well, Donald Trump got caught in a hidden camera of his own this week on the golf course, where he would dominate Joe, by the way. And I'm not going to lie, this has to be one of the funniest exchanges I've ever seen. This is Trump unfiltered because he doesn't know the camera's on, or maybe he does and they leaked it on purpose. But here's what Trump had to say about the debate performance and where the Biden campaign stands going forward. Check this out.
What did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh, amazing.
He kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just quit, He's quitting the race. Is that right? Yep, I got him out of the race. And that means we have Kamala. I think she's going to be better. She's so bad. She's so pathetic. It's so amazing. It's just so fucking bad. So I just can't imagine. But can you imagine that guy dealing with Putin and the president of China, who's a fierce person? He's a fierce man, a very tough guy. And they see him. They probably he can't. But they just announced he's probably quitting.
Good.
Okay?
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just keep knocking him out, huh?
Called him an old broken down pile of crap. He doesn't leave much to the imagination, does he?
He is a pile of crap.
He is an old broken down pile of crap. I mean, that's.
He has a pile of crap.
I just want to hear that
him.
beginning one more time. Yeah, that's in his pants.
What did I do with the debate the other night?
Oh,
He
amazing.
kicked that old broken down pile of crap.
Yeah.
It's a bad guy. He just
All right,
quit.
that's enough. Well, look at this video of how Jill talked to him afterwards. Look what she said.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do?
Win.
Why? Yes.
So if you... I mean, that's like how you talk to a 4-year-old.
I love how she congratulated him for answering every
He
question.
didn't answer every question. But yeah, so you didn't get them right, but you answered them. You got a 33% an F on the test, but you answered all the questions. Congrats, Joe. Congrats. Also, the thing about Trump lying, according to the CNN and the New York Times, Biden told more lies than Trump. And some of the quote-unquote lies that Donald Trump told, that the New York Times highlighted at least, weren't really lies. When Trump talked about the post-birth abortion, that's not a lie. That was a policy in Virginia up until about a year or two ago. A lot of Donald Trump's quote-unquote lies are just the way he talks. I'm not making excuses, but they are the way he talks. He's not telling lies about he's not quoting fake statistics or anything like that. When Donald Trump comes out and goes, we had the greatest economy of all time. It was the safest border of all time. No one in the military ever supported another president more than they do me. It's just him being grandiose and bragging. I'm not excusing it, but that's not nearly as bad of a lie as Biden outright lying about policies and statistics. That's much more egregious, in my opinion, than Trump saying, we had the lowest tax cuts of all time, or the biggest tax cuts of all time, and it was actually the fourth biggest tax cut because of something that happened in the 1920s. I don't think that's that's not as egregious to me as Biden coming out saying the crime rate's at an all-time low when it's because they're not counting LA and New York. That's a much worse lie. We have to talk about the quality and the context of the lies and what a horrible, horrible system we have where we're debating who tells better lies, which lies are of a higher quality and less effective, right? My God. This is the New York Times. So the whole media for 3.5 years has just had the wool over their eyes. And and the Democratic Party as well. They've just been in outright denial about what's going on here with Biden. That's all you've heard from CNN, New York Times, everybody. Biden's sharp as a tack. He's got it figured out. Pull up the New York Times headlines right here. Look at it. This is 2 weeks ago. How misleading videos are trailing Biden as he battles age doubts versus today. Biden's lapses are increasingly common, according to some of those in the room. So, which one is it? Are they misleading, or does he have these mental lapses all the time? Which is it? It can't be both. It's like saying that the Earth is simultaneously cooling and warming. Oh, yeah, they told you that too last week. Here's another one from AP. Biden is sharp and focused, but sometimes he's confused and forgetful. Which one is it? It's double speak at this point. Which one is it? Is he sharp and focused or confused and forgetful? Last time I checked, you can't be both. Hey, I'm in great shape, but I'm 300 pounds overweight. Which one is it? Can't be both. Well, maybe it is if you ask Lizzo. But it can't be both of them. So which one is it, guys? Here's one from CNN. CNN's been coping hard. This is a video from CNN. Check this out.
Joe Biden, after cannonballing into an empty swimming pool on Thursday night, came out tonight and spoke for 4 minutes off of a teleprompter. He's good for 4 minutes today, as long as somebody else wrote it. After having this completely tone-deaf sort of announcement coming out of this meeting that you wrote about with his family this weekend, where his son, the notorious influence peddler and crack addict, Hunter Biden, says, you got to keep going. Also, they were hanging out with Annie Leibovich, the photographer, which I wasn't even aware she was taking mugshots now. This entire thing since Thursday has been one tone-deaf political disaster after another. Tonight, he comes out and attacks the Supreme Court and says, oh, the president can now do whatever he wants. The same guy, by the way, whose centerpiece of his speeches is, the Supreme Court tried to stop me. They blocked me, but they'll never stop me on student loans. I don't know what they are doing because they don't know what they're doing, and no one in America knows what they're doing, and that's why Donald Trump's beating his brains in right now.
I'm going to let you take.
So the cat's out of the bag. This is not Fox. This is not InfoWars. This is not Outlaw Streamers. This is CNN, who spent 3.5 years now carrying water for this guy, saying, don't believe your lying eyes. He's in a lot better shape mentally than what you guys are saying. These are, as they call them, quote unquote, cheap fakes. These videos are out of context. He didn't actually get led off the stage by Obama at the fundraiser a couple weeks ago, even though you saw him doing it. That's not actually what happened. And that's kind of been what they did with the debate, was just gaslight and lie and tell people not to believe their lying eyes. Here's the thing, though. The Democratic establishment and the mainstream media knew this. They're not stupid, guys. This isn't breaking news to them. They didn't just find out for the first time on Thursday that Biden was senile and losing it. They've known this for a long time. And they've lied to you. for 3.5 years now, as it's gotten worse. But as of Thursday night, there's no way that they can deny it. So they have to be truthful now. Now, here's something on the lies. CNN absolutely obliterated. And here's what you're going to see. The knives are coming out now. The knives are coming out. 4 years ago, CNN only would have broke down what Trump said. They're not doing that now. They're not even talking about Trump. In fact, the mainstream media, CNN, MSNBC, they've switched their phasers from going after Trump to a full-on full-court press of Biden. They're treating Biden the way they treated Trump because they all, like I told you, when the media comes out in lockstep talking about or pushing any type of talking point, it's because they've been given directions to do so. Their handlers at the Democratic Party that they're known to be in cahoots with have told them this guy's got to go. And if you want my honest opinion about what's happening here, what's one thing, Mia? What's one thing we know about people with dementia? What are they other besides confused? Stubborn. So my guess is what happened is they came to Joe and said, "Hey man, you got to get out of the way here. You got to step down." And he said, "Go fuck yourself." Or he got really confused and he's like, "Well, I need to go talk to my family about this first." So he surrounded himself with his top advisors, his money power hungry wife that went and posed for Vogue after she posed for Vogue the day after her husband made a fool out of himself in front of millions of people. She wouldn't post for Vogue. So he went and talked to her, who's definitely not willing to give the gravy train up. And then he went and talked to Hunter that knows that if daddy's not president, he's going to prison. You know what would be the ultimate troll? Is if Trump pardoned Hunter Biden. Could you imagine? And he's like, I'm protecting you in a way your father couldn't. Like, that would be the ultimate troll there. That's something he would do, too, is pardon Hunter Biden. Just for shits and giggles. So he went back, and his family, of course, didn't want this to stop. I mean, I'm sure they're raking in God knows how much money off these back-end deals. And they're like, absolutely not. We're fighting. We're going to fight. We're fighting to the death. So you saw a ton of conflicting reports come out all week where they were saying Biden's ready to drop out. He's going to drop out as early as the 4th of July. He's done. He's going to drop out next Monday. And then Biden came out and said, I'm in the race. I'm ready to go 100%. So there is clearly, these people are being fed talking points. I don't think that Biden aides are actually truthfully leaking to the press that Biden wants to drop out. I think Biden's cut his aides off. They said, like we talked about Wednesday, he trusts Hunter more than any of his aides now. He's got Hunter sitting in on all the meetings. That's his top advisor. He's cut everybody off. He is the hermit president right now, and he ain't going nowhere. He's like, you're going to have to JFK me if you want to get rid of me. That's where he's at right now. And I don't think he has any communication with most of his aides, with most of the people within his administration that aren't loyal to him and want him to stick around. And most of them probably don't because they're all establishment hacks. So I think you're seeing the establishment media and the Democratic Party run a full-blown mutiny on Biden right now. I think they're trying to force him out. They're trying to push all these stories and just get and create so much confusion and so much chaos in the media that he has no choice but to drop out. They're trying to force his hand. That's my opinion of what's going on here. I think there's an internal struggle where Biden has dementia. He doesn't want to go anywhere, and the Democrats want him out because they know he has no chance to beat Donald Trump in November. So there's an internal power struggle right now, and the Democratic Party saying, okay, just leak all this shit to the press. Just say he's out of his mind, say he's about to quit, say that They published an article that said Biden is very alert between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. as long as he gets his daily nap. Isn't that reassuring? Start pushing all this shit about him.
Me too.
Yeah. They're treating Biden like they treated Trump. They're copying the playbook, except they're just turning on him. All the knives are out. They're all coming for Biden now. Look at how CNN called him out on all of his lies here.
Some of them. He said he's the only president in a while who didn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world. Troops have, of course, died on his watch. He said he's put in a $15 per shot cap on insulin and Medicare. It's a $35 a month cap. He said it's a $200 cap on overall drug spending in Medicare. It's $2,000.
By the way, the Medicare cap, Trump initially signed that cap on insulin. Biden got into office, repealed it, and then re-signed the exact same executive order so that he could run with this in November, 4 years from when he did it, and say, look, I capped insulin. Anyway, side note, go ahead.
$1,000 a year. He said the border now has fewer crossings than when Trump was in office. That's generally not true. He said, or at least strongly suggested, unemployment was at 15% when he took office. It was actually 6.4. He said Trump wants to get rid of Social Security. Trump doesn't. He said billionaires pay 8.2% in taxes. It's much higher. He said Trump told Americans to inject bleach amid COVID. We know Trump made foolish comments about scientists studying disinfectant injection, but didn't frame it as advice to people. And Biden said the Border Patrol endorsed him. No, its union supported the border bill he supported, never endorsed him himself.
Yeah, so 4 years ago, there's no way in hell they would have done that. Every single one. In fact, 4 years ago, every single one of those lies he told, they would have parroted as an objective fact on CNN. Now the tides have turned. Now they've been given orders from the establishment, from the head of the snake, hey, this guy's got to go. And he ain't playing ball, so we got to force him out. Because they won't run an independent. They'll just get dirty. Okay, go down to the next one there. This is what someone asked Karine Jean-Pierre about President Biden. Check this out.
We would invite the president to come here and tell us that directly.
Noted, Kelly.
But
he's awake.
That's inappropriate.
He's awake.
As you heard from your colleague, the president of the WHA, that's inappropriate. Thank you, Kelly.
He's awake. That's hilarious. And I told you another thing they would try to do. I told you this Thursday night. Is I said, look out for the distractions. Because all they're going to be talking about is, in the media, is Biden's horrible debate performance. Because they want to get him out. There are some people that may still be a little bit loyal to President Biden. And I said specifically two things. I said, watch out in the following week for a mass shooting or something to do with UFOs. And here's what we have. This is this week. FBI issues attack alert for July 4th. So they're getting the ball rolling. There's terror. We're on terror alert. It went from yellow to orange, Mia, which means something could go down somewhere at some time. We're on terror alert for the 4th of July. So they're planting the seed that something bad could happen now on over 4th of July weekend. And then we also had this, Colorado, over the last week. Disc-shaped craft hovers over concert venue in Colorado. This is national news all over the world. International news, I guess. Says a dozen employees said they watched a large disc-shaped craft hover over a Colorado concert venue and then vanished. What's even crazier is that as soon as we all started noticing and stopped what we were doing to pay attention to it, it tipped at an angle and slowly started moving belly first to the east. An employee of the Red Rocks Amphitheater told the National UFO Reporting Center. And this report was filed June 5th. But the media just now started running with it. Odd timing. Odd timing. Like I said, there's a power struggle going on with the regime. Some people are pro-Biden. A lot of them aren't. A lot of them are taking orders directly from the top. And you still got a few people loyal to Biden. And they're fighting back. And there's going to be an effort to cover this story up. And there's going to be an effort to push Biden out. But you know what? This is good. You know who this helps is Donald Trump, because they're not talking about him. They're not constantly attacking him. He's not in the press for whatever stupid thing he said at a rally this week. He can pretty much go say whatever he wants, because right now, 85% of the establishment media is following orders, which is get rid of Biden. Whereas the other 15% is trying to defend Biden and claim that you didn't actually see what you saw last Thursday. It's a great thing to watch the left eat itself. It really is. Here's a TikToker. He's a little unhinged. Check this out.
Nobody should be thinking here that Joe Biden is the right person to be president. Literally during that debate, somebody from his fucking team tweeted out saying, if I get reelected, I will reinstate Roe versus Wade. Newsflash, Grandpa, you're the fucking president now.
That's James Charles.
And it's gone because of you.
Isn't he a pedophile?
Oh my God, what do you mean if you get reelected, you'll bring it back? Do it now. Do it now, and maybe you'll have a chance at some people fucking voting for you. Because it's not looking great, buddy.
I had no idea.
No, that's not just a TikToker. That is the James Charles.
I don't watch that shit. I have no idea. That guy could walk up to me and smack me in the face in the middle of the street. I wouldn't know who he was.
He is a very popular YouTuber in like 2016, 2017. The James Charles. He like started the pink drink.
Okay. If you
His
say so.
Pinkity, that he called it a pinkity drinkity.
He sounds like a great guy.
He is, and he's not a pedophile.
Okay.
The
Who was the one that
person-
was a pedophile?
The person didn't tell him that he was underage.
Okay, so he didn't know he was chatting.
Well,
seductively
he
with a
was
minor.
19 and the guy was like 17 or something.
Yeah.
And he didn't know.
Okay.
And they like went out to dinner and stuff. It was kind of bullshit.
Anyway, we're talking about Biden.
Anyways.
So the polls have come out, the post-debate polls, and Trump is leading in these polls from anywhere to 4 to 8%. Now, in the modern age, 2000 going forward, Republicans rarely win the popular vote by more than 2%. George Bush lost it in 2000 but won the electoral vote. In 2004, he won by 2.4%. In 2008, Barack Obama won by 7%. In 2012, Barack Obama won by just under 4%. In 2016, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 2%. Donald Trump won the electoral vote. And then Biden, of course, won the popular vote by supposedly just under 5%. So Democrats typically perform better in the popular vote because they have the states of California and New York, which make up for a lot of it. California is very, very blue, whereas the bigger red states like Texas and Florida aren't as dark red as California and New York are dark blue. So that skews the popular vote. If Donald Trump wins the popular vote by 8%, he's going to dog walk Biden. Scroll down here. There should be a map. Scroll down a little bit further. A little bit further. Keep going. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that line. This is a map from the Democrats' internal polling. This is what they think the election could look like. What's the final score there? I can't even see. What? How many for the Republican? At the very top.
358.
You need 270 to win. So they've got him winning. They said if the margin of error swings this way, if the margin of error swings in Trump's favor, he wins Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, and Nevada, the states he needed to flip. But on top of that, he wins all of Maine. He wins New Hampshire. He wins Virginia. He wins Minnesota. He wins Colorado and New Mexico. That would be an unprecedented ass beating if Donald Trump won half of those states. If Donald Trump wins one of those states, Colorado, New Mexico, or Virginia, it's going to be an ass beating. But if he flipped all of those states, it would be tremendous. And again, you can shut that down. You have to wonder,
Why is there a little island inside of Nebraska?
because we separate our electoral votes by congressional district. It's us in Maine that do that. But if Donald Trump, or excuse me, this is Democratic internal polling that gets leaked. You have to wonder if this map is bullshit and they're floating it out there to force Biden out. I can't help but wonder that if that map is even legit there. Scroll down. We got more videos to play here. Okay. This next one. So Gavin Newsom, of course, went on the defense for Biden. Check this out.
You were out there getting a chorus of questions about whether Biden should step down. There is
right after the
panic that has set in. There is panic that has set in among people who have watched this debate, who are Democrats, people who are strategists, and some even inside Democratic campaigns. Yeah. Do you think it's unfounded?
Well, I think it's unhelpful, and I think it's unnecessary. We've got to go in and got to keep our heads high. And as I say, we've got to have the back of this president. You don't turn your back because of one performance. What kind of party does that? It's been a masterclass.
You guys.
15.6 million jobs. That's 8 times more than the last 3 Republican presidents combined. The only thing the last 3 Republican presidents have in common is recessions. Democrats deliver. This president has delivered. We need to deliver for him at this moment. With all due respect, the more time we start having these conversations, go down these rabbit holes, it's unhelpful to our democracy, our fate and future of this country, the world. They need us right now to step up, and that's exactly what I intend to do.
See, that's the problem with Newsom, is just about everything he said up there was a lie, but it doesn't matter because he is a hell of a salesman. And there's a lot of people that think Gavin Newsom could be the one that steps in and replaces Biden. And right now he's kind of playing that middle of the line, straddling the fence role where he's like, well, Biden's done a phenomenal job. I'm all in on Biden, blah, 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 blah. But you know the second they offered that psychopath that, he'd take it. The second they offered it to him. Here, I don't think Newsom's the guy, though. I don't think Newsom's the guy because I don't think he's as electable as somebody like Shapiro from Pennsylvania or Beshear from Kentucky or Polis from Colorado if they were going to replace him with someone that's not already on the ticket like Kamala. I think, though, at the same time, because Gavin Newsom, all you have to do is tell people, look what this guy did to California. Do you want to be like California? Look what a disastrous job he's done. Do you understand? Guys, have you ever been to California? Do you know how it's the most beautiful state in the country? It really is. Do you understand how bad you have to be to fuck up California? How bad at your job? It's like inheriting $8 billion from your parents and ending up a homeless drug addict in 2 years. If you fuck California up. That's how bad you have to be at your job. That's what a horrific job Newsom's done as governor of California. And they'll be able to point to that. The average swing voter in Pennsylvania or Michigan or Wisconsin or Arizona, especially Arizona where a lot of people have fled his administration, aren't going to want to be California. But on the flip side, Donald Trump's probably the only Republican that Newsom can beat because he's just Trump and he makes Newsom look good standing next to him because Newsom's a car salesman and he's a slick talker. If they were to run somebody like Andy Beshear, Josh Shapiro, that doesn't really have a lot of name recognition at the moment, that person's going to get name recognition. It doesn't matter. They'll be the nominee for one of the two biggest parties in the country. They'll get the media coverage. They'll get the name recognition quick. They could nominate me, and I would get the name recognition. Not that I don't already have it. Why would I want to be president? $400,000 a year? Why would I want to take a pay cut from this show to be president? You know what I mean? But on the flip side, Newsom, if they want to instill a communist dictator, this might be the best chance to do it if they get Gavin Newsom in there. Now, Gavin Newsom is, look at this video of him with Adam Carolla. He interviewed with him. He thought they were going to talk about Biden, and Carolla blindsided him, and you'll see how Newsom responds.
Adam Carolla here. Governor, why did you shut the beaches in California during COVID?
Yeah, I think we all were working on information at the time. We had no basis of deeply understanding the virus. I think they did the same thing.
So you didn't know anything, so why'd you shut the beaches?
States like Florida.
If you didn't know anything, why'd you shut the beaches?
Well, we didn't know. Yeah, because people were concerned early in the pandemic. Information was coming out as it relates to how it was transferred, the disease, and people were cautious, trying to keep people alive. And I should say this,
so
Adam,
you didn't let them go in the sunshine and get vitamin
California
D
outperformed.
and exercise, so you shut the beaches. Okay. And you arrested a guy who was paddleboarding in the bay.
On health, wealth, and...
Yeah, any science
good
behind
to see
that?
Adam, and,
any science
we're
at
all
all behind
geniuses
shutting
in
outdoor
hindsight.
dining? Why'd you
We're all
shut down outdoor dining? Go ahead, go science.
Good to see Adam.
Based on science,
look,
you didn't
at the end
have.
of the day, the debate tonight.
It's not a debate. You shut
I'm
down
looking
outdoor
forward to the
dining.
debate,
You canceled
compare and
businesses.
contrast
Had
tonight.
nothing to do with science.
All right, let him finish.
People, all right, go ahead.
All this happened in the.
So these guys have history. Look at this video from 2013 of these two. Carolla absolutely takes him to task on it.
But think about it, Adam.
Have the kids.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
And well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. And where do they
Why
end
do
up?
Armenians have them?
But where they end up is in check cashing places.
But I want to
and
know
these
why
payday
those
lenders
groups.
taking
Why
advantage.
those two groups don't have access?
Well, a lot of it just happens to be that we can
So
talk
they're
about.
flawed?
This. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically
Folks are making
flawed.
their word. Hardly, not absolutely.
But okay,
not. Absolutely
do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have. A lot of whites have these problems.
Oh,
but
so
I just,
that's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but I'm
why'd
giving
you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be the
That's
magnitude.
the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and that the communities are struggling. A lot
Why
of new
are they
immigrants.
struggling?
A lot of different reasons. Lack of
Hispanics
opportunity.
have been here. Blacks have been here
difficulties.
longer than we've been here.
Well, we can surmise.
What
all
about
that.
Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah, in fact, it all initiated out of San Francisco. And
All right.
the Chinese Exclusion Act came
So
out
they
of progressive San Francisco.
Are they the check cashing
A lot
places?
of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you conclude
Because
them?
the only reason why is the magnitude of
There's
the problem.
so many more.
The magnitude and percentage.
But there's no
terms
way to figure out how that happened.
Of Africa. We could talk about it. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure,
I want
why
to deal
would
with
you?
No, here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if
God,
you did that.
No, that's not the case because I
You
want to
don't
deal
wanna
with
get into
reality.
that.
No.
You want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with the reality of
reality
people
is.
that are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in
Why
a
are
pragmatic
they
way.
struggling
I don't
and
want
suffering?
an idea. We can hold hands and surmise about all these
Why
underlying
are they?
reasons.
I don't want to do that.
but
I want to know why
focus
they're
on the
struggling.
challenge.
Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find
Why
jobs.
blacks and
because
Hispanics?
they're working.
Why blacks and Hispanics?
So that's the thing with Newsom, and those clips should remind you. I know a lot of conservatives are afraid of him, and we should be. You can see what he's done to California. The guy's a full-blown communist, would-be dictator, and I think that's ultimately the end game for the Democratic Party. But the reality is, when he's like any other slick-talking used car salesman out there, he is a great talker, but the second he gets flustered, it's curtains. He is not the big bad final boss we think he is. He has no substance to anything he says. There is no facts and no data that can back up anything he says or does, and he relies on the audience being dumb enough to take it at face value. The moment he's questioned on any of it, he falls apart like a house of cards. We're going to go rapid fire through some of these others because we got more stuff to cover here. So this is Charlie Rangel. Pull that one up. Read that headline right there about Representative Charlie Rangel.
Ex-Rep Charlie Rangel, 94, questions whether Biden belongs in nursing home, not White House.
Now there's another one. There's a TikToker who did an impression of him, and it's spot on. It's down a couple. Yeah.
Hey, Dad, do an impression of Joe Biden trying to explain the difference between tangerines and oranges.
Tangerine. I was a kid growing up. This was in Kentucky.
Just like it.
Civil War just ended, and there was a tree. My father planted the tree. Tangerine tree. Anyway, Abe Lincoln said, "I'm going to cut down that cherry tree." No, the other guy. Anyway, what was the question?
He even kind of looks like him. That was good. Pull the stroke girl up. The one on TikTok at the bottom down there. Yeah, what did she say? This girl posted, I can't read it from over here. This girl posted a TikTok. It went viral. What's that say?
I don't mean to laugh, but my dad just had a stroke watching the presidential debate, and my mom said he started speaking gibberish and staggering, and she thought he was just making fun of Biden.
Okay, we got a couple more here. This is Bill Maher, the comedian and late night talk show host. Look at how he absolutely gutted Biden.
Wow. Huh? Did you see the debate? In case you missed it, don't worry, so did one of the contestants. I mean, wow. I mean, Trump told lie after lie after lie. He never would have gotten away with that if Joe Biden was there. Oh, wow. Oh, Joe. Come on, man. Joe. You know, Joe, he famously loves trains, but apparently not of thought. I mean, just all night confused and halting and trailing off. I've seen beauty pageant contestants answer questions better. I mean, I don't... I don't want to say he shit the bed. His new Secret Service name is Amber Heard. Come on.
Okay, that's enough. So he's been gutted by everybody. He's been gutted by everybody. And people within his administration continue to get more and more desperate. I promised we weren't going to cover this girl anymore, but somehow it got brought back into it. This is the Haktua girl. They asked her a question on a Barstool Sports podcast, because Barstool Sports doesn't talk about sports anymore. But they asked her a question on a Barstool podcast about who... just play it.
I have a game that I want to play with you guys.
What is that? Makes me nervous.
It's not that scary, I promise. It's called Haktua or Nah. And you tell me if you want to hook to on that thing or no. Okay. I think you might. Are you into like older guys?
For sure.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, my phone's not loading. All right, you ready? Come on. Oh, just a huck?
I'll give him a hawk. I'll give him a hawk.
Okay, beautiful. There you go, Dave. You got a huck. Donald Trump.
No, absolutely not.
No.
It's a no from me.
Okay, it's no.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Hawk Tuar is a reference to spitting on a guy's dick and giving him a blowjob, right? That's what that's a reference to. Here's what the Biden Wins Twitter account did with that video. Here's the quote they had on that. Right there. It says, breaking, the Hawk Tuah girl just absolutely demolished Donald Trump, saying it's a no-go for her. Retweet to make sure all Americans know Gen Z is speaking out against Donald Trump and his radical agenda. And this was because she said she wouldn't suck him off. That's the biggest win Biden's had this week, is some internet TikTok thought said she wouldn't give Trump a blowjob. That's what it was. And that's how stupid they think that Gen Z and millennial voters are, is that that's enough to sway them. I was completely insane. Also, side note, that girl posted a video saying she doesn't have any social media. So they found the only 22-year-old girl, American girl on the planet without social media. Great job on this PSYOP, CIA. Good job. I don't know your angle, but it's a great job. So the last thing I'll say on this Biden thing is I can't help but feel like, listen, we know how well-oiled of a machine the DNC is. Do they suck at governing once they take office? Absolutely. But my God, are they good at getting people into office. I just refuse to believe that as much as these people knew Biden and had been around him, I refuse to believe that took them by surprise, and that was the first time that they had ever seen him act senile before. I refuse to believe it. So what I'm seeing a lot of people doing here is what I've been warning you guys not to do for the longest time, which is spiking the ball before you're in the end zone. It's June, bro. We're at the 20. A lot can change between now and June. And don't you feel a little nervous about this? Don't you feel like this is all a little too good to be true from last Thursday? Don't you feel like there's an ace in the sleeve? Like they're planning something? This well-oiled machine just made the biggest blunder they could on the biggest stage possible. Do you really believe that? I just feel like they've got a sucker punch of epic proportions ready for us, and we got no idea I don't even know what it is. The prophet myself, the prophet that I am, I don't know what it is. I just feel like something is up their sleeve, and we would be stupid not to be on the lookout for it. Because, man, they get their people in line, and they have their shit in order over there. Like I said, they suck once they take office. But boy, are they good. I refuse to believe that they're this inept. Something's coming from this. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to click the link in the description to get the full episode on Rumble. If you prefer to listen along, you could actually get us on Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. You can also go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more about not just my show, but tons of other great shows and all the exciting projects they have coming up. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, at Caleb Salvatore Comedy on the Chinese Spy app that is TikTok, and be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thanks, and we'll see you every Saturday for brand new episodes of That's Based. Peace.